We'll take a start only when the cameras are on. We have around 30 members here joining, and I request everyone to switch on their camera. That will be of great help. All set? Nice. Good evening, everyone. And on behalf of Young Odisha, it is an absolute pleasure for me to welcome everybody to this wonderful and exceptionally diligent conclave in conversation with the icon. I think with all the emojis set out there, please send an welcome note to ma'am as she's joined us with all her hectic schedules apart to address young minds like you. I think you guys are really, really blessed and so lucky to have her on set during this immense turnabout of your careers. And before I could start, I would just love to show certain glimpses of Young Odisha. This is a forum that we have created a year back and was officially launched on 1st of June 2025 at Bhubaneswar. And this forum is actually for all you young minds out there in India, beyond the borders, where we can connect and inspire you all with such empowering sessions from visionary leaders. I still remember that when we launched, we never thought of having ma'am as a Kickstarter for this organization. What a start, guys. Come on, I need certain good emojis out there for ma'am.
Oh, lovely.
And thank you so much, ma'am. But before I could give a glimpse of her journey, I would like to share with all you young people an AV, which would be, I think, apt for you all to embrace what her journey has been like. So to the technical team, can we have the AV, please? Please switch off the sound because it's not audible. All said and done now, 40 years of long-lasting career cannot be encompassed in a minute, guys, right? So just a glimpse of, again, someone whom I have always looked up to. I still remember 2003 when I, with my parents, I was witnessing a program, Rendezvous with Simi Garewal. And I saw her for the first time, and my dad said, "Look, she's the first woman IPS officer, and I want you to be that." I said, "What a target." Couldn't have been much better. They say life is a full circle. For me, certainly it is. After 22 years witnessing Dr. Kiran Bedi on our platform. And justice over fear, relentless service. What a governance service, fearless governance, which her book rightfully says. And yes, first woman IPS officer and author, Lieutenant Governor Puducherry, tennis champion, a gallantry awardee, and the recipient of the most prestigious Raman Magsaysay Award. Beyond that, Navjot Foundation, India Vision Foundation, things that she had nurtured when she was at her service. She gave birth to two those little babies who are now 35 years. Am I right, ma'am?
Yes, they're big.
Yes. So that has been her long-lasting career. And with this, I would like to straight jump into the conversation that we've all been looking forward to have with you, ma'am. I still remember, ma'am, when I saw your interview before 22 years, you had mentioned on few things which I have picked up, rightly so, that policing is the job to get things done, to correct things, and to do. And that is what you had said when you had been the recipient of the Raman Magsaysay Award. And at the same time, I also have witnessed you saying that if you desire power and influence, you are not ready to lead. We are here today defining on a conversation that is leadership redefined. Something that would be an inspiring change for a better tomorrow. When I stand with my minds open with these two dialects, what brings into my mind is first ask you about a point that Dr. Kiran Bedi, we are all having the young generation today with us at probably at the age of 17 to 25 would be the bracket, if I'm correct. And what was Dr. Kiran Bedi thinking when she was 17 or probably 15? And where did she think that, yes, this is what my vision is?
Laurie, let me begin by saying a big thank you to all of you.
Most welcome, ma'am. It's beyond an honor to have you.
Thank the Young Odisha. You are leading the change. That's what your tagline says. Yeah. So
Yes.
Let me say thank you to each one of you. And I like the name. I like the title because this Young Odisha can be Young Delhi. In fact, you're asking me, I don't think we have a Young Delhi group. If you have, I think it's a great idea. Every state can have young, and every city can have that young Delhi. I think it's a great name. It's Young India. We have a Young India. But when it comes to Young India, it's like anybody and everybody, and anybody may not be. But the moment you fix it to say Young Odisha, you become affiliated. And there is a belonging. There's an emotional connect. So I want to say congratulations and thank you. I think it's a fantastic movement, Young Odisha, and I want to thank you, Laurie Patnaik.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank Sanjeev Kumar Mohanty, who founded. Thank you so much. And I want to say Huru Nanda, Prestige co-chairperson, who I see this on the chart, you three major founders. But most of all, I want to thank my colleague and former very dear friend Jayadev Sarangi, Dr. Jayadev Sarangi,
Yes.
and his wife Sarita. They are my closest friends, their family, and actually they introduced me to this Young Odisha. It was Jayadev who called me up to say, ma'am, and he says, ma'am, you have to meet Young Odisha. And I said, he wanted it to be in person, but then in person it would have meant 2 days. Because going in every event like this, when I go out of station, it means 2 days and it means a lot of other priorities shifting. So I said, no, if we don't have right now 2 days, let's connect online. So thank you so much, all of you mentioned, for making this happen. And thank you for sitting on your cameras, because it's so good to see the eye contact, and I can see.
And others, please switch on too. I repeat.
Smiling faces. I see them happening. So I'm very happy to see young faces smiling, waiting eagerly to see what can they get out of it. Now, you asked me a question, Laurie.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. When I was 17, you want to ask me?
Yes. My question was that because we have this fragile age group of bracket, so I want that, what was Dr. Kiran Bedi planning when she was at that particular age? Were you so sure that you want to get into the policing? How did you get that kickstart within you?
Look, 17 is still late. I started it all from the age of 9.
Correct.
You're already late. 17 is late. Get the 9-year-olds. I started playing competitive tennis onwards from the age of 9. And from the age of 9, I wanted to watch Wimbledon. I used to follow the tennis champions and playing regularly, listening to my parents, being very organized. I was very time managing already so 17, my friends, is late. Habits have already been formed. You need to form habits when you are young, 9-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old, teenager. Habits are formed. So habits start getting formed from the age of 7, 8, 9. But 9 is a very critical age. So 17, I'm already reaping the benefits of my habits that formed from the age of 9, 10, 11, 12. So if you think that 17, you start thinking, no. You start thinking much early. So you have stars in your eyes already from the age of 9. So I remember when I was growing up in Amritsar, and Mimi Arnold is the first tennis player who came from Wimbledon. Mimi Arnold. And my father introduced me to her. She was very beautiful, lovely skirts, and a very good tennis player. And you see, she became my role model. So who do you meet at the age of 9? Who do you meet at the age of 9? And who do your parents introduce you to? And who do your teachers introduce you to as chief guests who they come? See that? So the school parenting is done both at school and college level. Who do they introduce you? What kind of stars, what kind of role models they introduce you to? And number 2, do you accept them as role models? And do you get stars in your eyes? And you do create their images in your heart. For me, they were my role models, the champions of the day. So remember, 17 is late. Turn it around. 7 plus 1, 8. I think that's what you need to be. But now at this age, you people go back. Ask yourself, what were you thinking at the age of 8 and 9? If you were thinking, you were already there. But if you are not thinking, question is, let's start doing it now. Though it needs a lot of overhauling of your habits. Because if you have a role model in your, or a role, let's say not role model, a role ahead. What is that role ahead? So even if you've not found it at the age of 8, 9, I was lucky, I was fortunate, I was blessed. Parents giving it to me, school environment giving it to me, my teachers giving it to me, I was thrice blessed. Somebody is once blessed, twice blessed, but you're already blessed also. I didn't have a young Amritsar movement. You are already having a young movement. So I think you are already blessed. You're into an environment where you are given options to choose. So Laurie, I would say begin young, and I'm glad you are.
I think, ma'am, I would take this opportunity again to congratulate you on your new book, that is Transforming Prisons. And everyone can again raise your flags for ma'am, because she recently launched her book, Transforming Prison, which has to be read by everyone who is pursuing not to become an XYZ, but to become a formative leader in whichever niche you are planning to. And when I take back those moments, ma'am, about talking about that book, we speak about how you transform Tihar jail into a Tihar ashram. And that word ashram actually redefined lives beyond those 4 walls. And here I would like to understand from you, ma'am, that I suppose you must have answered this everywhere in your 40 years of career, but for young people to understand what challenge looks like actually, and how you can turn that into an opportunity, into a reformation factor, is where you can define about that inmate story whom whose story actually also gave you an affirmation that yes, change can be done, and this is what change looks like.
Laurie, thank you for mentioning this book, Transforming Prisons. Yes, it was just last Sunday. Last Sunday, when the book at the book fair, Saturday, Sunday, we launched this book. Chief guest was Jaydev Sarangi himself.
Yes.
And I'm so happy that we could all connect, because without him and the entire team, we won't have been. So, first question, first sign of successful leadership is your team building. Who are the people you connect and collect together and have a shared vision? First of all, at home, you have a shared vision with your parents, if you can. You school, you have a shared vision with your school or teachers, but you must have or you have a personal vision. So first, I request you, all the leadership qualities you want to see is in this small book, and it is downloadable from my website, kiranbedi.com. Take the soft copy, download it. All art, and it answers your question. What are the challenges? How did you use every challenge as an opportunity? And to what advantage, right? So I think I would say, from theory to practice, download. I hope, Rinki, there है ना book down post कर दी उन्होंने, or we got to do it right away. Please put it on the website. Okay, I'll get it done tomorrow. That they posted on the website, and you can download it, and and it's just a few pages. It's just about 40 pages, and you'll be able to see each picture, each image speaks volumes. अभी आप मुझे book की copy दिखाओ. I'll just show you.
Yes, ma'am.
And as I turn the page, you'll see what happened in the prison was exactly what will happen with all of you as you grow in service, as you grow in life. You will see, and then question is, what do you do with what you see? And then what emerges? So this book is divided into 3 parts. The 3 parts is, what did I see when I took over? Then, and each one is an image. What did I see? So you see now what you do is you roll, let's extrapolate. You become the IG prison, and you imagine yourself walking in my shoes, and you walk into this prison, and then you see, what I saw. Ask yourself, what would you do? Yeah. What would you do? Now this is it. It's a few pages. It's just a few pages. See, it's just
a lot of claps coming on.
Images. See this? These are all images, and they're all images. See this? These are all images. Thank you for Laurie pointing out this book. See, it's all images, and the chapter is what I saw. Now, when I saw corruption, when I saw violence, I saw misbehavior, I saw children not being. All this is downloadable. From tomorrow, you will be able to download it. So give me one day, and day after would be Tuesday. Just download it. And then what you do is, as an exercise, put yourself as you, as the IG prison, and then see, oh, अगर हम ये देखते तो हम क्या करते? And then you see, what did I do? What did I do? So now that's learning by example. That's learning by example. So this is another way of learning through others' experiences. You don't have to wait to learn. You can see, and then you start imagining and fire your imagination. So what did I do when I saw corruption? So then you go to the second part of the book. When I saw all the wrongs which were happening, but question is, I will pose a question. When you enter a place and you see something wrong, then you might say, oh, you have options. Do I complain? Do I ask for a report? Or do I start cleaning it up? So that means you saw something wrong. You pick up a broom, make a team, and start cleaning it up. You don't wait. Oh, and you don't start complaining and writing and chatting. So, oh, मैं बहुत खराब था, मैंने बहुत ठीक किया, हमने कुछ नहीं बोला, हमने झाड़ू उठाया और काम शुरू कर दिया. Which means we started to cleaning up. So I think that's a lesson you have to learn. Do you waste time complaining? Do you waste time asking for resources? But you adopt whatever you have as now belongs to you. You are responsible. Now stop complaining and stop quarreling with your tools. Take the people as they are and trust them and give them the responsibility, saying, now we are a family, friends, we are going to change it. We're going to work and convince them also on the change. But be the role model. Yeni, now you go and I sit in the office. No, let's go. It's not you go. It said, let's go. It's not saying you do. It's saying, let's do. And we did it. So it's let's do it and we did it, not you do it. So that is exactly what this book will tell you. What did we do? We never said, let's do it. You do it. No, we said, let's do it.
Let's do it. And
And
that
put
is
together. So this is what Young India is about. If any one of you can also identify problems and then say, now let's work together. You come across a school, let's say for instance, you come across a school which doesn't have a proper teacher. And you say, that school doesn't have a proper teacher and my children are doing well. Okay, let's do. So, okay, can I go, can as Young India, can we do something about it? Let's do it. Let's do it. So my message to you also is, you will see problems. They'll never be perfect, but only then that's an opportunity. That's the opportunity.
And that is where I still can revamp on those words when I heard you somewhere speak that when our honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi gave you a call and asked you that, Kiran, क्या आप पुडुचेरी के गवर्नर बनना चाहेंगे? That has been his mode of conversation with you. I mean, that is where you have always felt that leaders might be born with those qualities, but it is what you create out of yourself, that someone would ask you of that opinion, that क्या आप ये बनना चाहेंगे? Like that has been the conversation. Ma'am, if you could throw some insights on that thing, because I can relate this thing from the Tihar jail and ashram, where again, in a very, very unconventional format, when you were asked to take up the role of handling the Puducherry, you had stepped in with phenomenal unconventional methods there, and you started with the SWOT analysis.
Yeah, Laurie, that's a fact. You see, when I went to IG prison, nobody asked me. I was just sent. And nobody told me what needed. I had to find myself what was needed. How did I find myself? By walking the prison on a daily basis. Daily, every day, walking my prison every day, walking my classes if you're a principal or a headmaster, walking my university if you're a vice chancellor. It's walking. Walking my police stations as a police officer if I'm a deputy commissioner of police, walking. Now it was lieutenant governor walking, lieutenant governor cycling. So when the prime minister asked me, remember, it's a recognition of a good leader who's looking for another leader. Probably saw some potential in me to say I could probably work in Pondicherry and turn it around. He saw that. That's his visionary. And then what did he do? He reposed trust in me. कि जाओ जाकर पैसे का ध्यान रखना. किरण जी, पांडिचेरी का बनना चाहते हैं जी? मैं कहा क्यों नहीं सर, आपका हुक्म. लेकिन सर, it's a privilege. कौन कहता है किसी को जाके बोलो? So he's recognized you. He's actually rewarding you. But साथ में कहा, किरण जी, वहां जाकर पैसे का बहुत ध्यान रखना. Which means कि वहां बड़ी कोई होगी गड़बड़, मुझे नहीं बताया कि वहां बड़ी बेईमानी है. ये नहीं बोला, ये बोला पैसे का बहुत ध्यान रखना. See what a strong statement. ये नहीं कहा वहां ना ये है, वहां ये भी गड़बड़ है, वहां ये भी गड़बड़, ये नहीं बोला. जाकर पैसे का ध्यान रखना. मैं समझ गई तो अरे वहां कोई प्रॉब्लम जरूर होगी कि जो इसलिए क्योंकि लिविंग इन दिल्ली living in Delhi, how do I know what's wrong with Pondicherry? So, and there was no looking back. After that, he did not call me, ye karo, do this, do this, do this. I went to see, I walked my prison, I went to the sites, I cycled the city every day. So this is what happened. It was no looking back then. If you're on X handle, Twitter handle X, today, see what I've just posted. 1 hour ago, 4 years of my Pondicherry work. 4 years of Pondicherry, 5 years, sorry. I have completed 4 years of my left departure from Pondicherry. But I've done a little 2.5 minute video clip of how I wrapped up, how the highlights. So go and see. In fact, if you website to day after milegi aapko, you can go to the X handle, tweet, go and see at the Kiran Bedi, and you will see a 3 minute video I put in today, which will share with you all the leadership as to what was done in Pondicherry. How did I live up to the trust of my leader who reposed trust in me? So
Yes.
if you want to quickly see it, it speaks volumes. And by the way, I've not spoken on it. Every picture speaks 1,000 words, and it's a video. So have a look at it, and then you see how I connected with the people, how I opened up the entire LG office to the people, how I worked with the colleagues of mine. Just as my prison team was strong, as I've been mentioning, so did I have a Lieutenant Governor's LG team called the Team Raj Nivas. And you see, there are pictures of that. It's all mentioned. I think that's an extremely good learning for you. You're answering your question is, go and see today, go to my X handle and open up the Twitter handle and see this 3 minutes. And what you like about it, post it to me on my website. There's a page called kiranbedi.com. There's a contact page. You can say whatever you felt about it on my email, and I'll respond to you.
Sure, ma'am. We hear you, and I'm trying to unveil one chapter wise so that I'm able to reach out to what is juggling in the young minds. And here I would bring in your book, I Dare, where you're speaking about freedom from sabotage and bringing in the Gandhian way. Ma'am, you have been a part of an era which has witnessed, I don't think, a form of liberation that we can see right now. And from here, I would like to understand from you that what kind of mindset shift have you witnessed over the period of time in the form of leadership? And especially for the younger generation who are with us now, that is going to challenge the status quo, because you have seen the different ages of leadership. So what sort of mindset shift have you seen?
Big change. I think earlier times gave us more authentic leadership who were inspiring us and we could trust them. At the moment, we are seeing now a huge contradiction also. And they are leaders because they're in the position of leadership, but they're not leaders. You have authentic leadership, and you mentioned Mr. Narendra Modi. You see a very, very capable, and if you want to learn leadership, watch him carefully. Just see, he doesn't have a jet lag ever. He's not tired ever. He's not taken a single holiday ever. He's never complained that he is a solutions provider. And he's looking ahead. So we have this kind of leadership as well. But we also have leadership which recently you'll see how it was breach of trust. Leadership, but it was in position. It was not position. It was imposition. Imposed leadership. And posing themselves as leadership. They were posing themselves and they were impositions.
Yes.
But we also have authentic leaderships which are in position. So I've seen a major contradiction, growth of two kinds of leadership. Leadership you should follow, and leadership you must not follow, but learn from their mistakes.
So that is what we are trying to redefine here.
Exactly. Leaderships from whom you can follow and learn from. Secondly, leadership, not to follow, but you learn from their mistakes. And you also tell them to what ignominy, what disrepute such people one day soon after, and what reputations earlier, the group A, authentic, the A leaders, the authentic leaders, and there are imposters. They are all, these are imposters. So people are they've been elected or they've appointed or they are anointed, appointed, elected. You got to choose your leadership and not get influenced. अरे वो कर सकते हैं तो हम भी कर सकते हैं, थोड़ी देर नहीं पकड़े जाएगा, आज का सोशल मीडिया में सब पकड़ा जाएगा. Nothing can be hidden. So choose your leadership. You have now options. You have options of authentic, credible, honest people with character traits, and they've rightly earned their position. And yes. Secondly, there are impositions who've come through crooked ways, falsehood, hypocrisy, deceit, and also through illegal and wrong harassing others. So you must see that, you see, you have no choice because you will come across those people also. But the best way is learn from everywhere. Learn what not to do and learn what to do. So you have both.
That's where, ma'am, we would be speaking about one part of your career when you were surrounded with your colleagues or probably people around you, and some way the mindsets did not match, and where you decided to take an exit of position. And in your book, Fearless Governance, you have emphasized on ethical and empathetic, transparent leadership. That is what you have emphasized. Because a definition of a leader is always about drawing a line of being real, reality, saying the last word, its closer line should be a thank you, and in between the leader should be a servant. That's what you have always believed in. So when you took the exit and you decided, done, no more, what sort of transition had you taken in your mental space? That where I am taking this exit, I would turn my life, I would switch my gear and get into another mode, where probably you had the Navjot and India Vision Foundation. So that is what we want to know.
Laurie, that's a very important, good question. Look, I have a career portfolio. If you've seen from my wins today, I have not done one thing only in my life.
Right.
Why? Because as a teenager, I was an all-rounder. This is the time to be all-rounders. I was playing, I was studying, but I was also volunteering.
Yes.
I was also educating. I went for higher learning, so I was a constant learner. I did a PhD, etc., you saw that. I did a law degree, you saw that. I opened up many, many avenues for myself. So I chose to have a portfolio of education. Chose even for a portfolio for my career. Like after 60, I'm yet very healthy. What do? But I have my two foundations. I have my writing, I have my reading, I have my PhD, I have a law degree. I can start a whole new career. I can choose to. So, but remember, this all-rounder spirit begins where your age group is. So I'm glad that you are a young Odisha. All-rounders bano. Volunteering karo. Or causes ke saath ab judo. Get to the linked with causes now. I was volunteering also as a 14-year-old girl with the Red Cross. At that time, I was volunteering with Red Cross. And why am I talking about why Red Cross? Because at that time, when we had the Indo-Pakistan war and I was living on the border in Amritsar, I went cycling to Red Cross, to the hospitals, to clean hospitals as a teenager. And my parents would send me. And if there would be a saber jet siren raid on the way, and I'm on a bicycle without a guard, but I'm a 14-year-old girl going to hospital, a 13-year-old, and cleaning the hospitals, helping the doctor in queuing up, registration, etc. I was learning to volunteer.
I
So
think
the
that's the
volunteer,
space where every young mind sitting here, many of you must be knowing that Kiran Bedi ma'am, उन्होंने अपने स्कूल के बाउंड्रीज को भी कूदा है, and she has also not left that part of her. And she's also a person who's always stood in applauding herself to become a leader, given a chance in the school, in the colleges. And I can't make myself restrict to put this across that जब मैम आपको कॉलेज में लीडर बनने का exit दिया गया, that was the time that she believed in chopping her hair. And that's when you diverted the whole focus. So to all the young minds out here, जब आपका एक जगह नहीं हो पा रहा है, divert your gears and put your focus into different. Am I correct, ma'am?
बिल्कुल, इसीलिए ऑलराउंडर होना बहुत जरूरी है। ये नहीं तो दूसरा, अगर हेड गर्ल, अगर आपने मुझे हेड गर्ल नहीं बनाया क्योंकि मैं सारा वक्त ट्रैवल कर रही थी, तो some professors wanted somebody else to be the head girl, तो मैंने सोचा अब हेड गर्ल नहीं तो कोई बात नहीं. So I started to focus a lot on my tennis. I was growing my hair a little to be a head girl. तो मैंने अपने बाल फिर से छोटे कर लिए. मैंने कहा मैं सिर्फ टेनिस खेलूंगी और खूब खेलूंगी और इनाम कमाऊंगी. सो मैंने उस पर नाराजगी नहीं हुई, परेशान नहीं हुई, डिप्रेस्ड नहीं हुई, स्ट्रेस्ड आउट नहीं हुई. मैंने सोच लिया ये नहीं तो उधर. एंड व्हाट हैपेंड? I learned and achieved much more. See, this is what I'm saying. इस उम्र में डिप्रेस ये नहीं मिला तो अब मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ अपनी एनर्जी के साथ, अपनी capability. So that is the choices you make. So constantly make positive choices.
Ma'am, we are in a very tech-driven world right now. I probably believe that leadership is much more accessible now than it was way back. What do you think is the pros and cons of this redefinition of leadership in this tech world?
Pros and cons is temptations. You might just see some people becoming, having everything at such a young age through hook and crook, and it might attract you. But remember the steep, they can have very steep falls. You've seen, so look at the steep falls also. एक व्यक्ति चीफ मिनिस्टर बन गई थी छोटी उम्र में भी, और कितनी बुरा हाल हुआ. एक व्यक्ति मंत्री बन गया तो कितना बुरा हाल हुआ, यहां तक कि जेल भी गए. सो ये हुक शॉर्टकट्स नहीं लेने. सो आपने ये देखना है कि व्हाट स्टेप it's your perseverance which takes you, genuine authenticity which lasts. What lasts? Look at last क्या करता है. शॉर्ट टर्म बेनिफिट्स और टेम्पटेशंस और ग्लैमर में नहीं जाना. मैं किसी तरीके से ग्लैमरस हो जाऊं, मेरा नाम, मुझे मेरे इतने मिलियंस फॉलोअर्स हो जाए, मेरा नाम हो जाए और मेरे पास पैसा जल्दी आ जाए, उसको संभालना बड़ा मुश्किल है. उसकी अगर बुद्धि नहीं है तो संभालोगे कैसे? सो बुद्धि और विजडम को ग्रो कराओ और जल्दबाजी मत करो. आदतें अच्छी डालो, क्रेडिबिलिटी डालो, ऑथेंटिसिटी डालो, हैबिट्स को पक्का करो. वो फिर जो इमारत बनाओगे पक्की रहेगी आपकी इमारत. वो जो जितने स्ट्रक्चर्स बनाओगे ना, प्रमोशंस और तरह पोजीशंस पर, वो आपकी रहेंगे, गिरेंगे नहीं. आप देख रहे हो जब अट्रैक्शन होती है बड़ी जल्दी क्लाइम अप करते हो, और वी स्टार्ट कंपेयरिंग आवरसेल्व्स टू द अदर. अगर वो इतनी जल्दी चढ़ गया तो मैं क्यों नहीं चढ़ गया, मैं भी चढ़ूं. लेकिन ये नहीं देखते कि वो किस रास्ते जा रहा है. वो गलत रास्ते पे भी जा रहा है, गलत रास्ते अपना रहा है. सो डोंट, अपने आप को कंपेयर नहीं करो, अपनी पोटेंशियल को खुद रिकॉग्नाइज, अपने रास्ते पे चलो, अच्छी क्वालिटीज ले लो और साथ में दूसरों के फेलियर से भी सीखो.
Ma'am, we are living in this world where, like many of you around me, like I belong to a corporate world. At the same time, I write books. So I believe that there are different niche of work. And buying talent, building talent, we all speak about. But very rarely do we speak about bouncing back on talent. Like agar aapke company mein there are people who you think are at very fragile mode, need to be buffed up, because that again I feel is a strong power of team building. We refrain ourselves from bouncing them back. And that is where you say, one rotten apple spoils the whole basket. What do you think about it? Because this personally, I feel that the way you have nurtured both of your foundation, the way you had created an aura for yourself in the prison, this thing is also applicable for people who are in corporate sectors, who are dealing with n number of leaders around them, who are dealing with emotional intelligence, how to put that thing in the right place. So my question to you is that community policing and emotional intelligence, how can one balance both these along with the ambition factor? Do I have to give a setback of one particular thing to achieve one?
Somebody asked me this question in the box: how do I deal with mental health issues?
Okay, Om Mahapatra. We'll address that. We'll address that. Surely, ma'am.
Point is, I think what is important is we start looking at how can I achieve anything faster somehow or the other. And we compare with each other. Comparison. I did not compare myself with others. I was steady within. So अपने आप में कॉन्फिडेंस रखना, अपनी वैल्यू एडिशन करना, अपना खुद में विश्वास करना, सेल्फ बिलीव करना. सेल्फ बिलीव इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. तो अपने आप को तैयार रखना और इम्पेशेंट नहीं होना, सारी क्वालिटीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट. लेकिन अगर आप कंपेयर करने लग जाओ, मैं आप हो, दूसरे नहीं हो, दूसरे आप नहीं है. यू कैन नॉट बी द अदर एंड द अदर कैन नॉट बी यू. यू आर यू. सो बिल्ड योर सेल्फ एंड फाइंड कैन कंटिन्यू. एक रास्ता बंद हो गया क्योंकि तुम्हारे पास गंदा बॉस मिल गया, या जेलस एनवियस हो गया, या आपकी रास्ता को रोक रहा है. अपने लिए देखो मेरा और ऑप्शंस क्या है. लुक एट दोस. दैट मींस सेल्फ लर्निंग कंटिन्यूड रखो. आपको हर एक चीज बनी बनाई नहीं मिलेगी. हर टाइम आप जीतोगे नहीं. हर टाइम आपके लिए दरवाजे नहीं खुलेंगे. आपको कई बार चाबी ढूंढनी पड़ेगी खुद. So darwaze, people are not going to be, because everybody is probably looking for the key. You find the key, and whoever is more capable will find the key. But if somebody is, and even if you were equally capable, there was something variable which was in that person who found the key. But don't give up. आप अपनी दूसरा रास्ता ढूंढो. So it's very important to keep learning. But most important is मैं कौन हूं, मैं क्या हूं, मेरी काबिलियत क्या है, मैं और अच्छी कैसे बन सकती हूं, मैं क्या लियाकत रह सकती हूं. अपने आप से बात करो. डू योर सेल्फ टॉक. Talk to yourself. Be your own friend, or have a friend, whether it's your parents or your teacher or a good friend, but be having the right inner friendship. आप लीडरशिप की बात कर रहे हो. लीडरशिप पहले तो आप अपने आप से शुरू करते हो. यू आर अ लीडर विद इन. बिफोर यू लीड अदर्स, यू लीड योरसेल्फ.
Correct. Ma'am, everyone here applaud for a leader. Everyone. But not many understand that leaders are not born in a day, but there's a harsh truth that comes with every leader. And I would like to share an anecdote from your life where you had also witnessed a sort of challenge, a personal challenge, because you're never fearful of having any professional challenges. That's what I have read about you. Personal challenges, definitely you have when it came to the health of your daughter. That time you had actually a lot of emotional intelligence, psyche, and everything you put apart, and you just ran away from your place. You came down to your daughter, because that is something which I want every young person sitting here to witness, that becoming a leader is not a one night job. It comes with immense amount of compromises, immense amount of setbacks and challenges at personal level. जैसे बताते हैं कि if you are in a corporate world, keep the company first. Everything will fall into place. Similarly, I think, ma'am, you've always done that thing. You've kept your job first. You're always the Kiran Bedi first, then a mother, then a wife, and rest falls into picture. I want you to address every young mind to make them understand, including me, that even though I'm at my early 40s, but I need to also understand, and I'm a mother of a child who's 7 years old. So I need to understand that what is that particular harsh factor about becoming a leader that anyone who's aspiring to get into that position has to be mentally sorted with it. I want to become a leader. I want to aspire to become a leader. This is what the challenge is going to come, and I have to be mentally prepared for it.
Well, every one of us have limited in all 24 hours, working hours are only 14. And within 14, put aside, you need an 8-hour sleep. So now becomes 14 left. Within 14, there is some time which you need personally. You eat, you bathe, you have an afternoon nap, or you care for others. Actually, working hours for you are very limited. Now the question is, what is your priority? What is your purpose? How can you deliver that purpose in those limited hours the best? Because actual productive hours of the day are limited. You have to be now groom yourself. How do you use those key productive hours? What can you do by yourself? And what can you do through a team? And what can you do through support of others? You have to now delegate and lead and distribute and get things done. So leadership is, what is your purpose in anything you do? And the question skill is, how do you get it done? Or how do you do it? You understand that? So remember, within limited hours, now, if I want to only cook for the family, when I can have a replacement, and instead I have to read to prepare, what should I choose? To oblige my husband, or oblige my family partner, or make them happy? But who reads for you? Who plans for you? Who writes for you? Right? So question is, can I instead have somebody to do something which others can do, but I do only what I can do? So it's very, very important. How do you apportion your time and prioritize your time? कि तुम्हारे लिए कौन सी चीज इस वक्त important है? When I had ailing child, when my daughter was not well, can I sit at home and look after?
Yes.
I had my mummy substituting. So that's why my family became my strength. How did my family become my strength? Because my house is open for my whole family. So I was like one member of the family, not the IG in the family, but one member of the family. And my parents stepped in. So family support, gained support, paid support, delegating, teamwork, and doing what you are best at doing and what you need to do, your purpose. But I also returned to my family when my family needed me most, and my work could wait. Work could wait. Because what is urgent, as Stephen Covey said, attend to what is urgent. What is then very important? Unimportant, not urgent. But the point is, what is urgent? I was right there. Correct. But what is very important and urgent was also being attended, so it doesn't become every time urgent.
Prioritizing.
So prioritizing is very, very important. So if my mother could take care of my child, and I could become SP Traffic Goa, I went because my mom could be there. But when she said my daughter now needs to go to be hospitalized, it was urgent. So I left everything and came because it's urgent. So I think that's a choice comes through experience and wisdom. But never mix up the priorities. What is urgent and what is very important? It's a very thin line. And what is not urgent and what is not important, drop that out. It can wait. It can wait, or it can be delegated, or it can be shared. So it's very important. This comes through experience and wisdom, and also creating support systems, and also self-learning and self-awareness.
Ma'am, we also have our young people who are waiting to ask you many questions, and I would like to bring in here Hariom Pati, a young champ from your background, political science, DU. And he has a question for you. So, Hariom, please go on.
Yes. Am I audible, ma'am?
Very, very.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am. That was such an enthralling session. We learned so much from your experiences. Ma'am, I do political science and I also do psychology from distance. So both are honors papers. So and we discussed multiple things that pertain to both these factors, both these specters of knowledge. So from political science, we learned about leadership and the values that you instilled in us. And from psychology, how to manage stress and how to self-talk. That's an essential part we learned from you. Ma'am, my question pertains to the factor that we've discussed about the youth, but among the youth, if we go to the intersections, women, the young women of India, and you as a woman, you have channelized so much knowledge and expertise in the field in which people have been so much inspired from you. Women especially have been inspired from you, and men alike. So I want to listen from you that, ma'am, how do you see today's women can learn from the stories that leaders like you, women like you, who could tell us? And ma'am, what was the experience of you when you were growing up and becoming officer as a woman? Was it a bit more challenging, and how do you see whether the time has changed or not? Thank you, ma'am.
Man or a woman, whoever we are today, are based on the habits we cultivated. It's a bundle of habits. And remember, habits of success are common to both men and women. Habit of learning is not gender linked. Habit of personal discipline is not man or a woman, it's persons. Persons having good habits, happening to be men or women, become successful. Question is, look at your habits, man or a woman, and then look at your mindsets, man or a woman. So think good, inculcating. Look at your strengths, look at your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Do a SWOT analysis of yours, and then your circumstances, being a boy or a girl, being a man or a woman, may be different. And then deal with those circumstances. But look at yourself as a person who wants to succeed, and for success, habits is the critical. Remember that. So habits are not gender factor. Habits are persons as human beings, and success. So to be successful, man or a woman. Now, to my success, did I need to be a man to succeed? No. As a woman, I succeeded, but I had all those qualities which have traditionally gone with successful men, which was endurance, decision making, risk taking, courageous, being a provider, being a leader. These are traditionally male traits. When I become a team member, and I become a leader, and I become a provider, and I take care of others, provide security to the others by not being scared myself. What is this? What is this, man or a woman? No more. It's successful persons.
Ma'am, we have Mr. Salil Das, who's joined us from the US, UK, and he's put forward one question to you. That is, what has the role of a leader, how has the role of a leader evolved in the digital age? And what are the key challenges that leaders face in building trust in this digital first world?
The leader is much more exposed now. Social media actually keeps the mirror on the glass on the leader. What he thinks, what he says, what he dresses, what he eats, where he goes, who he meets, where he lives. All this. So there's a greater searchlight on the leader. So therefore, the more authentic he is, easier the life.
Yes.
Otherwise he will be living. He will all the time have to act. Then he should join something else, an acting career and not a leadership career. So if the leader wants to make life easier, walk your talks, live authentically and honestly, live with integrity. Now you don't have a choice. Your mistake will immediately get exposed.
Yes.
So they are living in glass houses. Now today's leaders live in glass houses.
Ma'am, there are so many questions actually people are messaging me that we want to ask, but we, because of the shortage of time, we cannot go in for one and one. But I still would like to bring in Akanksha, this little girl with Hariom and Aditi. These champs have actually taken a lot of work to bring this webinar come out the way it is right now. So Akanksha, you want to ask something to ma'am? You can go ahead.
Good evening, ma'am. Firstly, it was a great session with you. So my question for you, I'm coming from a commerce background, and my father has always said that look at Kiran Bedi, like be like her in your whole life. So I've always heard. Then my question for you would be, how did you balance societal expectation of you in that Indian society of being a traditional woman, such as managing house chores and with your ambitions of being professional pursuits?
Delegate what you can, pay for what you must, generate support systems, rally around your family, reduce your own expectations, get better organized. I think all these are very important habits. I don't do what others can do for me, but I do only what I alone can do for myself.
Correct.
That's the first important quality. And I'm not here for social society's expectations. I have also my own expectations. So it's very important to know what you expect of your own self. And then society accepts you or not, that's your problem. Because you're not hurting anybody. You're not being indecent. You're not doing things at the cost of the others. You're living your own life with the simplicity and integrity and humility and gratitude and giving and unselfishly. What's your problem? And you're earning your own place. What's your problem? So whether others are envious, so that's your problem.
Yes, so that's a state for any young girl at your age. And we also have Aditi with us. Aditi, you there?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible to you?
Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am. It was a very insightful session and it was great to hear from you. I have two questions for you. So, the first one is that as young people, we often find ourselves working with different kinds of groups. So, I wanted to know from you that how to really navigate conflict situations wherein maybe the teammates they have different clashing viewpoints. So, and if we happen to be in a leadership position, how do we deal with that? So, firstly, that. And I also wanted to know that at the beginning of the session, you mentioned the benefits of forming habits early. So you said that you started forming some great habits at 9, but over here, all of us we're nearing
Beyond
20 now.
15.
So what are some things that we can take up now? What are some good habits that we can take on now that will help us later in life? So these two questions, if you could.
Go to Chat GPT and ask. And it will tell you exactly the things which I'm telling you. First of all, your time management. Most important is where do you spend your time? How do you spend your time? What are the choices you make during the day? How much time do you spend gossiping and how much time do you spend reading and absorbing? How much time do you spend complaining and how much time do you look at addressing yourselves? Very important. How much time do you spend to yourself for self-growth? Always not you are where you and what kind of friends you keep. What do you read? What do you see? What do you hear? Where are you spending your time? If you spend your time at places you like to spend, it's not being selfish. Even if it's your friend, you can play together, you can read together, you can study together, you can teach each other. It's friends. But you are learning from each other. When you talked about conflict resolution, listen to each other. You don't have to be right always. So if there is a conflict, what is the conflict? How serious is the conflict? Is it a difference of opinion? And everybody has the right to a perspective. Respect that. They don't have to only always have your perspective. That's okay. There's no conflict. I respect yours. You respect mine. So there's no conflict.
Now that we are
Listening to each other is very important. Listening and psychology. I think that's where subjects of psychology. So when you're in doubt, I think you have the IT tools to guide you.
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, prompt it, saying, I have this position. What are the options you give me? ChatGPT will tell you today. It's a good counselor.
No one could be better than you. And with this, I think because we're ending the session, but we're not moving ahead without witnessing Dr. Bedi's biography. I don't know whether all of you are aware of this, but we're going to play a short AV, and that's going to be her witnessing journey in 2025.
You don't
To the
have
tech
to.
team,
Let's keep answering questions. I think you already
ma'am,
know.
just give us a second, just please. Everyone needs to witness this.
No,
Please.
let them witness it through my website. You save time. Let's go to questions because let's deal with curiosity which children have.
Okay, one more question we can take. All right, but I cannot shut down without playing that because that's going to become a rightful inspiration for all of them.
As you wish. Otherwise, they can go on my website and see it for themselves.
All right, one more question. Anyone? I think I'm getting a lot of questions, ma'am, about managing peer pressure. I mean, the whole bracket is about mental issue, closely said. I think this is a generation where we are talking about Gen Z, but I think the spirituality factor needs to be engraved more into it. So that's where you can throw some light, ma'am.
Oh, your morning fitness is very important. Fitness is very important. What is the fitness regime for all of you is very critical. Choose whether it's yoga. It's a mixture. A mixture of fitness can be yoga, can be cycling, can be walking, can be swimming, can be playing. These physical outdoor is important with nature. Go to nature, be with nature, and be with yourself. This time again. If you invest your little time, reading time, personal reading time, and personal fitness time will energize you for the rest of the day, because you will continue to be on track. Morning yoga, fitness, exercise. It can be friends together also. Go walking, go swimming, going playing, going reading. I think friendship can become very creative. And sometimes just silent friendship is also very energizing. So use your time to energize yourself. Get out of toxicity. Toxicity, it discharges you. And nature and working with nature and a good company charges you. Don't look at the areas which is discharging you, and look for areas which are charging you. It's exactly like the way your iPhones are. You go to the plug which charges you. You moment, and in anticipation, you go to the plug to charge yourself. Isn't it? Aren't you very conscious of discharging? Why? Because you lose communication. Similarly, if you discharge yourself, you're losing communication with yourself. So recharge yourself on a regular basis and have your recharge plugs. And what are your recharge plugs? Ask yourself, does reading charge me? Does music recharges me? Does seeing a good movie recharges me? Having a good friend and good talk recharges me? Walking in the nature recharges me? Doing a yoga recharges me? Sitting quietly in meditation or doing a course in meditation recharge? Look at your recharge. I'm not saying there's one, there are many. Go for many. जैसे घर में अलग अलग plug नहीं होते हैं. So everywhere, every room, every bedroom has plugs. Similarly, have many plugs and recharge yourself. I have today, see, I'm still in a tracksuit. I've come just before you. I went for a swim and my hair are still a little wet. I didn't cancel that because I said, no, I have to go for my swim before I reach you. And my office kept calling me, ma'am, where are you? Where are you? I said, I'm coming. So for me, that's a recharge, right? And you are again a charge. That was recharge. You are a charge. So you choose charging habits. Even food. Remember, don't overburden yourself. And you need to eat, but don't overburden just because something's very tasty. Keep the stomach light. So I think respect your body, respect your time, respect your family, respect your
friends. End of
friends.
the session, which I don't think anyone would like to, and I would like to bring in my co-chairperson, Pradhan and Prishti, to please give the vote of thanks to ma'am. And I repeat again, please, everyone, put your cameras on. Guys, we're at the end of the session. You will not take this moment again.
Namaskar, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. So before giving the vote of thanks, a short poem I have written just during the session. जैसे आपका काफी ये जो सेशन था, बीट लीडरशिप, हाउ टू टैकल द मेंटल इश्यूज एंड ऑल, इसमें जब भी एवरी कर्नर ऑफ द स्टोरीज एंड एवरी जो आपके वर्ड्स में वो इंस्पायरिंग है. जस्ट ए शॉर्ट पोएम, gratitude to Kiran Bedi. With courage, strong and wisdom clear, you have led with grace year after year. From I dare to leadership on fire, your word inspired set hearts affair. It's always possible, you have shown us the way. With fearless freedom, we rise each day. Your reforms, your work, they speak so loud. In every challenge, you stand so proud. From the police force to social change, your impact's vast, you have rearranged. A voice for the justice, a heart so true. Kiran Bedi ma'am, we honor you. Kiran Bedi ma'am, your legacy shines bright, a beacon of courage, a source of light. We thank you ma'am for all you have done, a leader reformer, second to none.
You've stolen all my words from my books.
Yes.
Oh, I love to receive this as a gift.
That is so nice.
So आपकी जितने भी बुक्स है, मतलब फियरलेस गवर्नेंस, डेयर
सारे ले लिए, सारे टाइटल ले लिए.
उसको कंपाइलिंग क्या हुआ स्पेशली.
So I want to thank my friend Jaidev Sarangi and Sarita Sarangi and all of you, Lori. And of you, Sanjeev.
Special mention to Jaidev sir and to Monica ma'am for helping me do this.
Oh, lovely.
And yes, ma'am. She's
and
always
my friend
been
Rinki here. She's my office manager. Rinki, Monica.
Yeah. She's been so supportive to get this event.
How collectively we could do it together.
Definitely. We are, ma'am, actually foresighting to bring on Young Odisha with a physical event at Delhi in the first quarter, in the first financial year quarter. So we are aiming to do with this around June, and we are putting the red carpet for you also. From now, I would be booking your sessions. That's particular space, and that would be really a blessing for us, where if you would be a part of it from your hectic schedule, and you have no idea that with your one yes, this has been a kickstart for us. And just summing up, because
we'll
I
be
always
waiting for you, ma'am.
Yes, we have been really waiting for you for last 6 months. And just summing up, yes, ma'am, because when we initiated, and Rudan, me, and Sanjeev, we were all talking. The first name that kicked us was you. With your demonstrative learning classes, I wish I could have been in the age of 10 to 20. I could also have been a part of it. So it's been amazing to have you here. And secondly, I always believe, man, whenever I start a forum, I believe that it needs to be ended with a proper conclusion. Taking all the words from what you've said, to everyone, including myself, I also want to reiterate that success is very, very unfiltered in today's time with the regime of power that we have in any domain that we all are working with. Because today we live in a world where I believe loyalty is just a currency now. Perception is everything. And everything is so fragile. One wrong move, one wrong decision could take you into an exile mode. So think when you are at your career verge, when you've attended success, what is important is how to handle success. That is what ma'am has rightfully said. And to close the session, I would take few words from her, which I have always believed and have followed for the last 22 years since I have witnessed Rendezvous with Simi Garewal. That is read, write, revise, and do a good deed every day. That's what I incept into my 7-year-old daughter. And I remember when she was 2, she used to say, fumble and say RRRD. That's what she used to say. And that is what I have been following. And I hope that we continue bonding with you, ma'am. It's been great to have you on our show.
No, we bonded already.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you very much. But before we leave, I would like to thank the webOdoctor digital team, Kriti Khandelwal, who's been handling the entire tech support from herself. Kriti, if you can just switch on your video, that would help us. And please, a team pick for everyone. Guys, please switch on your camera, because I repeat, this moment is not going to come every time.
All I can say is you're all very wealthy. You know why? You've got time on your side, you've got health on your side, which will, if well spent, you will have money on your side. But at the moment, don't run after money. At the moment, manage your time and manage your energy, in which is health. You are the richest. See, when we people grow up, what do we have? We have money, but we don't have time on our side, and we also sometimes don't have health on our side. You are youngest, you are the richest. You got health on your side, you got time on your side. How you use your health and your time, that will make you finally rich. And
Sure,
keep
ma'am.
doing it.
We have all the cameras on. We can take a pic. And as Aditi, we've said 3, 2, 1, and go. Thank you, ma'am, from the
Thank
bottom
you,
of
ma'am.
our heart.
Thank you all
That's
very
a
much.
shout out loud to gratitude that you have joined us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Bless you all. Thank you. Bless you. Thank you. There's a
Thank you,
clap.
guys. Thank you for making this a wonderful
Jai Jagannath, ma'am.
Jai Jagannath. Yes. Jai Jagannath. Thank you. Thank you. Jai Odisha. Jai Odisha.
Jai.
Jai
Jai
Odisha.
Odisha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Jai
you.
Bharat. Jai Bharat.
Jai Bharat.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. God bless you.